I could see the tree coming. I knew I was heading straight toward it, and somehow I kept driving. Have you ever experienced that in your business or your life? You can see where this is going. You know something has to change. Maybe you're not making enough money. Maybe you're building an online business that doesn't actually feel like you anymore. Maybe you're exhausted from doing all the things you're supposed to do. Or maybe nothing is terribly wrong. But somewhere inside of you, you know this isn't where I want to go. I've experienced that more than once in my life. And the first time, it eventually left me around 1.5 US dollar million dollar debt. But it also told me one of the most important lessons of my life. And strangely enough, I'm living that lesson again right now. The tree. You probably heard the story about the tree. Imagine you're driving a car and suddenly you lose control. And there is one tree in front of you. Just one. And you think, don't hit the tree. Don't hit the tree. Whatever happens, don't hit that tree. But where are your eyes? On the tree. And somehow that's exactly where the car goes. I did that. Not literally, I did it with my life. Before the financial crisis, I built a substantial property portfolio. And at some point, I could feel things starting to change. I could see some of the danger. And one thing I desperately didn't want was to lose control financially. I didn't want to end up underwater. I didn't want the banks breathing down my neck. I didn't want to lose what I built. And I was staring directly at the tree. And yet, I didn't turn the wheel. Eventually, the thing I feared became my reality. Around $1.5 million debt. Horrible meetings with the banks, pressure, fear, and honestly, there were moments where I couldn't see how I was going to get out of it. But here's the part that still fascinates me. I had seen it coming. And that's why I'm trying to tell you this, because maybe you're doing the same thing right now. Maybe not with property, and maybe not with millions in debt, but with your business, with your online business. Maybe you're building a coaching business, an education business, school community, a personal brand, and you can already see the tree. You're posting, but you're not really saying what you want to say. You're following someone else's business model. You're selling something you don't really love. You're exchanging more and more of your time for money when what you wanted was freedom. Or maybe you bought another course. Maybe you learned another strategy, and deep down you are thinking, I don't want to build my business this way. But you keep going because you've already invested. Because somebody successful told you this is how it's done. Because changing direction feels scary. And I know that feeling. And I just went through it again. So this brings me to something quite personal that happened today. Over the last year, I've been trying different directions with my online business, with my school. And at one point, not long ago, I invested in a high ticket online program. And honestly, I thought I've invested more than 250,000 in my time in coaching and mentors. I'm quite experienced with this. And I thought I was buying one thing. And on the sales call, I asked and asked and asked, so I was sure what it was that I was going into. But the fact was, once I got deeper into it, I realized that this path was quite different from what I had expected from the sales call. And eventually, I found myself being encouraged to build in a way that simply wasn't me. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the strategy, but I'm saying that it was wrong for me. And it was not my first business. This is not my first business. I've done business for plus 30 years now. I've been a business owner since 2012. And the fact here is that it was wrong for me. The path that I'm on now, the path that I want to help online entrepreneurs on, is actually something that's aligned with you, with myself. And it was wrong for me, this one. And that's an important distinction, because I could feel my energy was disappearing. I could feel myself trying to become someone I wasn't. I've been that person before, and that was not where I wanted to go. And therefore, since I've been there before, I knew and I realized, Michael, you're looking at another tree here. Now, I've been there before, so I turned the wheel and I started asking very different questions to myself. What do I actually want to build? Not what should I build? Not what's currently fashionable. Not what somebody else says is the fastest path to success online or to money. But what do I want to build? And the answer became clearer and clearer. I've been building it, but now it's taking the next turn, the next approach. Income Breakthrough is a community for online entrepreneurs who know they're capable of more. Entrepreneurs who want to build an online business they genuinely love, aligned with who they are, the life they want to live, and the impact they want to make, and ultimately build toward consistent 10K months without becoming someone you are not. So today I made another big decision. In the community, we are already more than 150 people, and it's been free until now. So if you look at the links in my earlier videos, you'll see it's free. But from today, I am doing something brand new. For the founding members from today, it's $20 a month. And again, to me, I want to build something really valuable here. So what I decided to do is, we had something like this before, but if you want to join us, you'll get the breakthrough scorecard right away. And that's a help for you to understand or uncover where you are now and what's holding you back. And from there, we already started and we're moving forward. Tomorrow I have a live training in the community. We're building the breakthrough blueprint. And this blueprint with the breakthrough scorecard in your hand is a path towards consistent 10K months. There's no guarantees. There's no like you will make this or you have to follow this or something like that. This is completely different. And it's for the first founding members, $20 a month. There will be weekly trainings around business, mindset, and the inner game, and a short onboarding call with me to help you get started. But really, the bigger goal is this: build an online business you love without becoming someone you are not. So if you're feeling that maybe your business needs a change of direction, or maybe you feel like you're stuck, you are not doing what you're supposed to do, or you simply want to build alongside entrepreneurs trying to create more income, freedom, and alignment, I'd love to welcome you. And you'll find the link to the community below this video. And okay, one more thing actually, there's a 7-day free trial. So you can test it out for 7 days, test the scorecard, have the call with me and see if this is something that you want to be part of. So back to the tree, because joining another community isn't what creates a breakthrough either. So what actually did change my life? Because I gotta say this, what happened to me years ago, it wasn't one course, one coach. I did both. And it definitely wasn't one or some magical business strategy. So when I look back, I can see the 3 steps that I did. The 3 steps. Number 1, I made a real decision. When I was at $1.5 million debt, I made a real decision. Step number 1. And there's enormous difference between I really should change this and I will solve this now, or this changes now. That kind of decision. I had spent plenty of time thinking I should do something. But eventually I reached a point where I could feel the decision through my body. I will solve this. And that's when things start moving. And number 2, very important, I acted on what appeared next. This is something I've become so fascinated by. You don't necessarily need to see the entire path. I didn't. From $1.5 million debt to a team of 60 people and paying off the debt, I didn't see the path, not at all. But I saw the next thing coming, and first I made the decision. Things started appearing. People, ideas, opportunities, conversations. And instead of waiting until I understood the whole journey, I acted on the next thing I could see. So for me, I went to London. I attended training. I learned. I experimented. I took action. And then another step appeared. Number 3 for me of the steps, I got help. And this was huge for me. I invested what felt like an enormous amount of money at the time in my first business coach. Remember, I already had really deep financial problems. So spending money on help didn't feel comfortable at all. But I had realized something. The thinking that had brought me here at the time probably wasn't going to be enough to get me somewhere completely different. I needed other perspectives. I needed people who could see things I couldn't. I needed to learn, and then I needed to act on what I learned. I needed someone to support me on that journey. And what happened next still feels pretty extraordinary when I look back, because less than 4 years later, I paid off the debt and I built a company with 60 people. And here's why I'm telling you this. This is not about, look what I did. The lesson is, none of that happened until I turned the wheel. The strategy came afterwards. The coach came afterwards. The opportunities came afterwards. The company came afterwards. The decision came first. So let me ask you something. And don't answer quickly. Watch your tree. What can you already see happening in your business that you know isn't where you want to go? Maybe your income has been stuck for years. Maybe you're constantly overthinking. Maybe you're building a business that slowly becomes another job. Maybe you keep postponing the thing you need to do, and you know you need to do it. Or maybe there isn't a disaster coming at all. Maybe it's something completely different. Maybe you can feel something bigger calling you. A bigger business, greater impact, more freedom, more income, a completely different next chapter. And you're still holding the steering wheel straight, waiting, thinking, preparing, hoping you'll eventually feel ready. Maybe you don't need to feel ready. Maybe you just need to turn the wheel. And that's the thought that I wanted to leave you with today. You don't need to know every step. I didn't. Make the decision. Take action on what shows up next. Get help when you need it. And keep moving toward the life and business you actually want. Because sometimes the breakthrough doesn't begin when you discover the perfect strategy. It begins when you finally decide to change direction. And if building an aligned online business toward consistent 10K months in the direction you're choosing, well, you're very welcome to join us inside the Income Breakthrough community. The link is below. And if this helped, please give this a like, and you're more than welcome to subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next video.